Come on in, guys, because it's time for another episode of Outwatch, a Survivor Rewatch podcast. Thanks for joining us today as we have a special one-off episode where we are drafting and filling another one of our theoretical seasons of Survivor. Typically, Outwatch is a show where we re-watch, recap, and react to old legacy seasons of Survivor. But yeah, we're taking a trip off the beaten path today into one of our fun brainchilds of a season. My name is Alex. I am, as always, your host and guide through our Outwatch experience. And I'm joined by who has now become an important Survivor Draft co-host on Outwatch. Friend of the show, Elizabeth. Welcome to Outwatch.
Thanks, Alex. Happy to be here.
Today, we are doing another, like I said, one of our draft shows, but the format and the shtick of this one is imagine Survivor 41, because we don't know what it is yet. This is what it is. Just put yourself in this world. Jeff is out there at the finale of Survivor 40, where my pregame winner pick, mark it down right now, Denise Stapley has just won $1 million. And we end on, and let's see what we're doing, season 41. And you get this wonderful montage footage of the multiple eras of Survivor, going all the way back from the classics to the most recent seasons. And we've got 4 tribes of 5 people each, but each tribe has people from a specific era of Survivor. You've got the seasons 1 through 10 tribe, 11 through 20, 21 through 30, 31 through 39. Like so. And they're going to have to duke it out in that format. Jeff, I will take my check. Just send me an email, outwatchpodcast@gmail.com, and I'll give you my P.O. box when you use this wonderful format. So what we're doing today is we're putting together our dream tribes, broken up by era. So fun. Elizabeth, if you were to choose your favorite of the 4 eras of Survivor, of course, these are like arbitrary breakups based on what makes sense numerically. Which one would you denote as your favorite era?
So this is tricky. And I think, it's hard. I go back and forth, but I think most of my favorite seasons are in the 11 to 20 era.
Uh-huh.
So I would say, though, one outlier for me is Palau, which is season 10. So it's almost in that era, but not quite. I love Palau. But I would say Micronesia, Cook Islands are 2 of my other top. China. Yeah. So I think 11 to 20 for me that's definitely my favorite era.
I think that's
when it became what we think of as like modern Survivor, I guess.
Yeah. I've heard people refer to this era, or at least like parts of this era, as the golden era. Yeah. I would agree with that. The seasons that you mentioned, there's like a string of just solid Survivor there. I think I would pick that too. Yeah. Micronesia is like just so hard to beat. And even like the tougher seasons in that, outside of Guatemala, which is just like pretty tough in general, like even the tougher ones aren't that bad, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I think within the era for me, I mean, Gabon is maybe like one of the weaker seasons, but even then, I love that season too.
Yeah.
So
it's a quirky one.
Yeah. Maybe Fiji. Fiji's maybe one of the other weak ones, but overall, it's a really enjoyable era of Survivor.
It is interesting when you start to like rank them or choose your favorite at least. Cause like, I don't know. Also like the third era, 21 to 30 is maybe what I would say is the worst, but at the same time, like maybe my 2 favorite seasons fall in that, in Cagayan and Philippines, which are like 2 of my favorites.
Those are 2 of my favorites. And Blood versus Water is a really great season too.
It is, yeah.
So yeah, it is. I mean, I think it's hard because you kick off that era. Well, no, I guess you end it with worlds apart. That's probably one of my very least favorite. And then One World, both of the ones with the word world, not so great, but
that's a good shorthand.
And Nicaragua, yeah, you kick it off with Nicaragua. So there are some rough ones in there, but overall there are some really great seasons too.
The lows are very low in the 20s.
Yeah, but the highs are high, so
yeah,
kind of evens out.
True. Remembering that if the season of Survivor has the word world in it, that it's not very good is a useful tool.
Yeah, could be. I don't know if we'll ever have I don't think we've had any other than those two. So.
I think you're right. Yeah. It's going to be Survivor World of Winners.
Yeah, that would be bad. Good cringe.
So what we're going to be doing today is we have each done some research and put together our dream tribes of 5 individuals from each era to be on a tribe and compete in this season. One of the few stipulations is that nobody who has won before is eligible. I figured with, season 40, with all the winners coming back, looming large, that, we don't want to dip into that same pool. And then also if a player returns, we're going to stick them in their era in which they first appear. So, of course, there's a number of returning Survivor players who cross through various eras, but we're going to keep them stuck in their original era. Before we get started, did you have any particular, philosophy or strategy when you were putting your tribes together?
I would say generally I just went off of the people that I want to see play again the most.
Yeah.
And then once I made a general list for each era, I did try to make the tribes make more sense in terms of an even gender split, and also people I thought would be interesting to see together on a tribe.
Yeah.
But overall, it's mostly just who I like the most.
Yeah. I tried to think at some points of man, which of these players embody what this era when I think about the teens, but then that felt fruitless and arbitrary and hard to, to pin down.
Yeah.
Or I just don't want to see Russell again.
You don't want to see who?
Russell.
Oh, yeah.
Or Rupert.
Definitely. Well, I think it's tricky too, because some of the players that we from different eras that were really exciting was partly because they exhibited behavior that was up and coming. That might be more suited for the next era, but they were in an older era.
Yeah.
Because they're the reason the game is evolving.
Yeah. Did you have any seasons where you picked more than one player from the season?
Yes.
Okay. I had just one, but yeah.
Yep, I have just one as well.
Okay.
It may be the same one.
Interesting. That would be interesting.
Yep.
So I think, the way we're going to do this is we'll just go back and forth and share our picks. We'll probably have some overlap. And then once we've gone through all of our picks, we'll go and form our collaborative final tribes we'll just do all the casting work for you, CBS, so that when you do the season, you can cut some costs that way. We know you care about that a lot right now.
Mm-hmm.
So here you go. We're doing this just for you. How about we start where it all began, the classic seasons of Survivor, seasons 1 through 10. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
It's up to you. I can go first. One question I had was, do we want to go in order chronologically of people on our list, or just who I would pick first?
I think I wrote all of mine down in chronological order, but
okay. We can do that.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Hit me with your first one.
What?
Hit me with your first one.
All right. So I have only one person from the original season of Survivor, Survivor Borneo. It's someone that we have never seen play a second time, but someone that I really loved in the first season, and that's Greg Buis. So he was the developer of the coconut phone. Very charismatic guy, pretty young at the time, so probably would still be eligible to do well in challenges.
Okay.
And I think he would have a strategic mind for the game. I don't know that he follows Survivor, but I think he'd be really interesting to see on the show again.
Old Greg.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't expect that, but that's a good pick.
I feel like we've seen the big names of season 1, and Greg was really popular at the time. So
yeah,
but he's kind of like fallen off the map.
Did you like watch season 1 when it happened?
Did I?
Yeah.
I watched parts of it, so I was still pretty young when it aired. So we had basically all of my friends' families and my family watched it, but I've gone back to rewatch it because I only had vague memories of them like slathering themselves in mud.
Right.
Like the final tribal, like Sue Hawk's speech, I definitely remembered that, but other things I had to go back to rewatch. Yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't done my first actual rewatch of it, which is coming up pretty soon in our Outwatch order, so I'm excited to do that. But
oh yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun. So I'm hazy on Greg, but I do remember Coconut Phone.
yeah, that's what he's most known for. But.
My first pick has returned once. I've actually, hold on, I'm going to sound like a fool. I'm doing my research. Stand by. No, she's only played this one time. Give me T-Bird.
Oh, she's on my list too.
We gotta have T-Bird from Survivor Africa. I imagine that she's played more than once because she's such a staple and stalwart in Survivor community discussions that it's like, wow, I forget that she's only played the one time.
Well, she got dropped off of Second Chances. She was in the running.
A great tragedy.
It crushed me.
Yep. Yeah, I'd love to see T-Bird again. She, I think, is, knowing her personality, has probably stayed fit and would be definitely up to play again.
Oh, yeah. I looked it up. So she's like 60 right now, but she's definitely in really good shape.
Yeah.
So, and she has, so the thing I remember most about her from Africa was that she plays really well from the bottom. So they had that like unexpected swap. And then Therese, she like did a good job of throwing her former tribe mate under the bus to keep herself safe.
Yeah.
And then she was the final remaining member of her tribe at the end. So I also, one of my favorite T-Bird moments is when she throws the mystery vote at Lex and then doesn't tell him, and he's like really pissed off and trying to figure out who did it, and it's like sweet T-Bird that did it. Yeah,
anything that comes at the expense of Lex is solid.
Yeah, he's good. He's a funny, angry person.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'd love to see her play again.
I agree with that pick.
She is on your list as well?
Yep.
Yeah, we had our first commonality then. Yeah, I avoided Australia, so I don't have anyone on my list from Australia. I love that season, but we've seen so many of them. Like, I think they have the most returning players ever. It's been pretty picked clean. Yeah, because it was such a popular season. And I mean, back a long time ago, I would have picked Colby or Jerry or someone, but we've seen their story. So yeah, I almost thought about Elizabeth Hasselbeck. I know. Right? So I love her. Yeah, I did contemplate it. So for a long time, she was the only Elizabeth in Survivor, which made me love her. But yeah, I do love her and Roger. They're both, we haven't seen them play again, and I would like to see that. But what is it up? I don't know what that would look like. There's lots of, maybe there's only two, and these are the two that I'm thinking of, but like old dudes named Roger in the first 6 seasons of Survivor. Yeah. yeah. I think they're the only two. Yeah. Could be forgetting someone, but they're definitely the most well known. So T-Bird was number 2 on your list? Yeah, in terms of chronological order, yeah, cool. She was number 2. I'll go ahead and give my number 2 then, which is probably this is the most like iconic never return player. And I don't know if it's realistic or not, but can we get a Rob Cesternino return? So Rob has returned. Well, of course, you're right. You're right. Just everyone, it doesn't matter. It wasn't real. Yeah, he's the next one on my list as well. Yeah. So I think he's number 1. Probably in a lot of people's books of who we want to see play again. Yeah. Especially now, after he's been giving his own advice on Survivor for so long, and he knows the game so well. I think like it would just be extraordinary to see him play again. Yeah, I don't expect that he would do that well, because he is like, I don't know, he's like the the figurehead of like Survivor strategy, like nut, you know? And for that reason, I feel like people would be like, oh, we can't work with this guy. Unless you've got a lot of like, I don't know. He would probably do way better in like a fans versus favorites thing, because then it's like, oh my gosh, I get to play with Rob, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, he would definitely do well with that. It's tough to say how he would do in a season like this, because I think that he's not too much of a threat. Like, he is, strategy wise, he probably is the biggest threat out there, but he's also a really likable person, and he knows a lot of these people outside of the game. So it could be that he does better than we think he would, but I think it would definitely be a tough road for him.
Yeah, I wonder what it would like take him like for him in real life to like say yes to coming back on.
Well, it seems like he's moving that direction, but I don't know. So I think a big part of it originally was that his kids were so small, and now that they're getting older, he feels a little bit better about leaving them. But I think cool. That's the big issue.
It would definitely be surreal at this point. Like, I feel this way coming into season 40. Like, it's surreal seeing some of these people play again.
Oh yeah.
He would fall in this category too. Oh
yeah, definitely. Yeah, if Rob was on, I mean, I felt this way even when Steven was in the running, when he did Second Chances. So like, to see Rob on a season would be awesome. It would be so crazy.
Go ahead and give me your fourth one. I'm on number 3, but I've shared mine back to back. It just happened that we overlapped. Yep. Yeah.
So I don't know that we'll share this person.
Okay.
This one's kind of an oddball. So it's from Survivor Vanuatu.
Okay.
I don't have anyone in 7. 8 is all like people we've seen a lot.
Yep.
So I picked Julie Berry. And I don't know that we would ever get to see her because of her past history with Jeff Probst.
Right. But it would provide some interesting stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I think just for the interaction with Probst alone, it would be worth it. But then she also was one of, like, I loved her on Vanuatu. She was really engaging and did a good job in the game. And I think like her understanding of reality TV as a whole, like she works in the reality TV world, I think she could do really well. And she's also still stunningly gorgeous. So I think she would have some sway with some of the gentlemen.
Yeah.
And I think she would do pretty well. So
Vanuatu, another season that I haven't seen since its first air. So I am definitely hazy on her. And most of what I know about her is the fact that she and Jeff dated.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the other people from that season that I like a lot are Eliza and Amy, and we've seen both of them play before. So Julie is someone that when I watched it the first time and I've rewatched it both times, I thought, oh, she's really good.
Yeah.
And I wish that I could see her play again. I don't think it'll ever happen, but it'd be cool.
Probably
it's
not.
also the only season to have an earthquake and a volcano erupt.
Whoa. Cool. Survivor natural disasters.
I know. They just got to go back to Vanuatu.
I'm on pick number 3, so maybe I'll go 2 in a row here. I'm going to dip in to Survivor the Amazon one more time with my third pick. Probably recency bias since we are have that fresh on the mind, but I would love to see Dina Bennett play again.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We stand Dina really hard in our rewatching of this, and our first time viewers were absolutely stunned when she went out as like the 9th person voted out. So I'd love to see her again.
Yeah, I love Dina. One of the craziest things to me was that she wasn't really that old when she played, because in my mind she was like this old woman, but she was like in her 30s, right? I think on
so.
Amazon.
Yeah, I think
so. She's really not. She would be great to come back to Survivor.
Yes.
It'd be really cool to see her and Rob together. That'd be fun.
That would be cool. Yeah.
I think they're still on good terms, so that'd be really interesting.
I shared this in our pod for one of these episodes, like around Thanksgiving. But Dina like tweeted out a picture of that like merged tribe that happened. I guess the merge like happened on Thanksgiving or whatever, and it was like her remembering like Thanksgiving with those people on Survivor, and like Rob Sesternino retweeted it, and it was very wholesome and cool.
Yeah, I think I did see that.
Yeah,
that was back when they would film in the fall. It'd be so crazy. It's a much bigger commitment to give up your holidays.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, Dina would be great. I'd love to see her again. And I think that, she's got like, again, the attitude that she would like return and I think perform pretty well.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll go ahead and go again here to even us out at 4 apiece. Cool. I'm going to go into another season that we've rewatched on Outwatch. That is Survivor Pearl Islands. Mm-hmm. Another one that's been picked pretty clean. But one person that I was really impressed with in our rewatch that's never returned that I'd like to see again is Ryan O. Of Pelican Pete fame. But he played a really solid game. I think he got kind of overshadowed by Andrew Savage, coming from that same tribe and kind of being similar archetypes. But yeah, I think he was really likable. And thinking in a way that a lot of other people weren't at that time. So we said it when we were watching it that he would be fun to see play again, especially since he never has. And I stand by that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he's definitely not someone on my radar. Pearl Islands is one that, I mean, I love the season, but like you said, a lot of the like big names have already played a bunch. So I kind of don't think of it for this kind of season, but he's a good pick. I definitely think he would be good on a second time around. Definitely. Be a really old tribe this time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. This would probably be on average like the oldest season of Survivor. If this were to happen.
Well, I think the new one, 40, is pretty old too.
I'm sure it will be. Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, it'd be tough. Julie or Greg might be the youngest people that would be on it.
Yeah,
because Ryan's 47. So
yeah, I think
that's
you're
crazy.
Right. Who'd you have rounding out your classics tribe?
All right, so this one is I would say my number one pick. Potentially overall for the whole season.
Okay.
Of someone I would want. So it comes from Palau, which is one of my very favorite seasons.
Okay.
And so it's Ian Rosenberger.
Yeah.
So I love Ian. Fun fact is he follows me on Twitter and Instagram, so that adds to it. But I think he doesn't know who I am, and he just like is a nice person and follows people back. But I loved. So he was part of the longest individual immunity challenge ever. And his story arc was really interesting in that basically Katie kind of guilted him into like stepping down and then letting her go to final 2 with Tom. And I always wonder if he like regrets that decision. And I'd love to see him play again. I don't know how he would be as an older, wiser Ian.
Sure.
But I think he played such a great game in Palau, and it was just at the end that he and Katie and Tom had this interesting dynamic that caused him to step down, and then he didn't go to the final 2, but I think he had a really good shot to win. Tom's a great winner though, so it's hard to say, but I think Ian definitely would have put up a good fight. Yeah,
he was very close.
Yeah, I love Ian. And he does really cool work. He like makes backpacks and stuff out of trash basically.
Oh wow.
And he does a lot of service work for Haiti after the earthquake. A lot of his employees come from Haiti and the supplies and things, so it's really
nice,
cool stuff. So yeah, Palau is one of my favorite seasons, but for different, like I think most people came out of that season loving Stephanie and Bobby John,
right?
And it is really interesting that like they wiped out an entire tribe, but I also just love that like Tom and Ian, everything from the other tribe. So yeah.
Very nice. Good pick.
Cool.
My final pick is somebody who has returned once. But to me, she is in that top tier of Survivor entertainment value. And so I would love to see Eliza Orlins on our television screen once again.
Yep. I do love Eliza.
She is, of course, of what she is known for, the wit, the snark, the effing stick of it all. Just so good. And it's been a while since she's played. The last time was Micronesia, which, we're looking at, gosh, how long ago was that now? Like 10 years plus,
was like 2008.
Right?
Yeah, so 12 years ago.
So it's been a minute, and I would like to see her play again.
I think
if for nothing else, entertainment value.
She was just on Amazing Race.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And she was still in great shape and still her usual self. So I think she would still do really well.
Love it.
She may be the youngest person on the tribe too, honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
Or Ian's not that old either, but
she's 37.
Yeah, I think Ian's 38, so they'd be close.
Yep. The young guns of the classic tribe.
Yeah.
In their late
Rob's
30s.
Like, or 39?
Yeah, he's probably close. Yeah. Honorable mention, Lillian Morris, of course.
Yeah, I did contemplate Lil, but I was like, I just can't. I can't do it.
It'd be too much.
Yeah. I do love Lil.
She is a
just for like
player.
Entertainment value. Well, and it's like hard to like not pick Sandra, but it's also we've seen a lot of Sandra.
Yeah. Indeed, we have. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the second era then, and after we've after we've been able to see the whole scope of our options, then we'll narrow it down to our final tribes.
Okay.
I just went. So why don't you share your first pick from the what should we call this era? The post-classic era. How about that?
Okay. The golden era, right? That's what you call it.
Or the golden era. Yeah, golden era works great too.
Okay. So the first person I have is from Survivor Guatemala.
Okay.
So weird season.
Yes.
But this person definitely was a standout for me. And kind of like came out of nowhere. And I think people forget about him. But definitely I think would do great on a second time around. And that's Rafe Judkins.
Rafe.
Yeah. So he's like, he was definitely who I was rooting for throughout all of Survivor Guatemala.
Yeah.
And so it's like crushing that he didn't go to the final two, but I definitely would love to see him play again. I think he's really successful in his life, so I don't know that he ever would play again, but it would be cool.
He's right at our golden age of returning Survivor players of 37 at this point.
Yes. Too bad this isn't season 37.
I know, man.
Perfect.
This season, we are having every contestant at 37 years old.
It'd be really possible.
That would be interesting.
I mean, they'd have to have a little bit of a range, but it'd be pretty close.
Yeah. I don't remember much about this season, but I believe I remember rooting for Rafe as well.
The main thing I remember from Guatemala is just how terrible it was. Like, I think of
me
all
too.
the seasons, that's the one season I was like, I don't think I would be able to tough that one out. Like where they couldn't go in the water, and they started it out with like a half marathon hike.
Gosh,
through the jungle with like screaming monkeys. Like, it was terrible, really terrible.
Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like one of the worst physical conditions that they've ever had. It was really bad.
Yeah, that would be really tough.
But strategy-wise, it was interesting. It was interesting to see Stephanie come back, and still, she did really well, but I think her reputation changed that season.
Mm-hmm.
But Rafe, I feel like, came out like, I don't know. I think probably a lot of people liked him. I loved him. So
yeah, I think he was a well-liked person. I'll kick things off here by traveling to season 13, Survivor Cook Islands.
Yeah.
This person is a Survivor legend. He has been in the show a number of times, but I've have a mix of like deep cuts. This would be fun to see the person play again, and others who is like, dude, if we're pulling from this era, we've got to have this person. And for me, that's Jonathan Penner.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a better Survivor narrator. I'll wait.
Rob Sesternino.
Okay.
But Penner's very good. He's up there.
Top tier for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but every time that Penner played, I found him to be like equal parts infuriating and like rootable,
Oh yeah.
He's just like a really interesting character, is great on camera. And again, the last time he played was in Philippines, right? So it's been like a good close to like 10 years since he's played. He's
definitely
getting up there in age at this point, but I feel like he'd be up for another round.
Yeah, I think he has some personal problems at the moment.
Oh,
and that his wife was recently diagnosed with ALS, so that might keep him from coming, but I would definitely like to see him come back.
Yeah.
He's really definitely like one of the most engaging characters of Survivor. In both, like in Cook Islands, he was so extraordinary. Like him and Yule trying to play off of each other is like some of my favorite Survivor moments.
Yeah.
And then Philippines too. I mean, he was on Micronesia, but I feel like that's not like his strongest.
Yeah, I like forget about him on Micronesia.
Yeah, but in Philippines, it's like the same Penner, and you get to see a lot of him. Like, there's one moment, I think I'm trying to remember, it's where Katie, or it's either him or Katie talking, and they like put their foot in their mouth, and they're like, "Oh, it's Penner going, we're gonna split the votes between so and so and Penner," and he's like, "Between who?"
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that is.
Or he says it about
moment.
Katie. I can't quite remember it, but
I think they say it about him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That someone says it to him, and then he's like, "What?" Like he's like. Yeah, Katie or Penner. Yeah.
Yeah, someone pulls a Dean and Karishma.
Yeah.
The first iteration of that. Yeah.
That's one of my favorite moments because he's like quick enough that he catches it, and the other person's just like a total idiot.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yep. He'd be fun for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Who you got next?
Let's see. So I don't have. Oh no, I do have someone from. So I have someone from 12, but technically from 16 and 20 and 34, if you can guess who that is. But I think like one of the all-time greats up there with Rob of people to play and never win is Suri Fields.
Of course.
So it was like hard. I was trying to avoid people who've played a ton. I just can't not pick Suri. Like it's like she has to be there if we're doing this. So
yeah.
So technically she's from Micronesia, but her first season is Panama. So
right. Yeah, she was on my short list, and then I left her off for that reason, and that we've seen so much of her, but I can't say no to more Suri, honestly.
Yeah, she's like the one really soft spot. And I feel like it's like she's gotten so close multiple times that it's like you just want to let her play again, like, and hope that she wins.
Just remove like 2 advantages from the game.
Yeah.
So she doesn't get it advantage and we're good. Yeah.
She's been like the most production screwed, I think, of any player. Yeah. Like she had the whole, it's not a final 3, it's a final 2. And then the like final 6 of Game Changers, both are just terrible situations. So.
Yeah. I'm going to go to Survivor China for my next pick. Definitely a weird season. And I'm going to fight the urge to pick Chicken Morris.
I thought you might do that.
Damn!
Just for that alone.
Yeah. We talked about this person on our last draft pod, but I'm going to pick her again in that I have like a similar, just longing to see this person again on my TV screen. And that's Courtney Yates. I've
got her too.
Wonderful. Such an enjoyable presence, such a extreme level of snark that we need nowadays. Would love to see it.
Yeah, I agree. I thought back and forth, but I just can't turn down Courtney either.
Yep. And again, as we've said with a number of these people, it has been a long time, like since they've played, and a lot of these people, I'm like, I think I knew this, but I was reminded of it that like so many like when we do returning player seasons, we're picking people from like the recent history of Survivor. You know, we're not very often like dipping deep into past seasons, and so here's an opportunity for us to do that with some vets.
Yeah, they only ever really go like they'll maybe take like 1 or 2 people from like the really old seasons, but it's almost always within the last like 5 seasons. So yeah, I think it'd be fun to see Courtney back again. It'd be fun to see Courtney with Suri.
Yeah,
I think that'd be cool. And Penner.
Yeah, this is it would be an
they've
electric
ever played
tribe.
Together, so that right?
Yeah,
I don't think they ever played together. Yeah, so
that would be fun.
Fun.
We are in the golden era.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people in this one.
Who is your next selection?
All right, so going with Snark, my next person is one of the snarkiest. I think her and Courtney together will be very interesting, and that's Natalie Bolton from Micronesia.
All right.
So she's like one of the only top players in Micronesia to never come back. And like, I feel like she almost stole the show from people who are like huge names in Survivor, and Parvati and Suri.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, she's the reason for the iconic Eric immunity necklace. You know, they work together, but it's largely Natalie that did some of the legwork for that. So
for sure.
I think it would just be fun to see her come back. I don't know how she would do, but I'd be happy to see her.
Yeah, that's a great pick. I was considering her as well. I'm going to go ahead and just follow that right up with the other half of that iconic tandem, and just go ahead and throw Eric Reichenbach's name in the ring as well. It's a little tired, you know, all the Reichenbach stuff. But give me like a true shot at redemption here. Give me like the cynical, jaded Eric Reichenbach who is mad at CBS at a personal level, who keeps showing the clip of him being embarrassed as an example of what not to do.
Yeah, I like that pick.
Give me the John Wick revenge story, Eric Reichenbach version.
That would be great. I don't know if he's got that in him, but he's so entertaining and such a fan of the show. Like, I love to watch fans, and I mean, he started as a fan on Micronesia and then got to play again as a favorite, but he's definitely like someone who knows the game. He's still involved in the community. I think he would do really well. And he's so entertaining. He's still in great shape too, I would assume.
Yeah, and he's still young. He's like 35.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that this would, if he were to come back for a third time in this sort of a setting, this would be the best that he ever does.
Yeah, I think so. I think he can fly under the radar with this.
Yeah, and when you don't give the like heavy redemption theme, you know. Yeah, since he's just such like a poster child for that. Yeah,
it'd be fun to see him and Natalie together, and Suri. I would assume that they're in good spirits with each other, but I don't know.
I hope so. That would be fun though. Yeah, cool. I'm definitely more, when we do these things, I'm the play the hits guy. You know, you're more of the like deep cuts. Like,
I don't think Natalie Bolton's a deep cut though.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
She's top 4.
She's mid tier. Yeah.
All because of Eric. She's top 4.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah.
Who you got next?
Okay, so I have someone else from Micronesia, which I don't know if you'll agree with this one, but I like couldn't not put them on the list because they provided me with so much entertainment the first time, and that's Chet Welch from Micronesia. So he's like the Chet, and now I'm totally forgetting his Joel. The moment in the challenge where he's like, "I'm in pain," and Joel's like, "I know."
Yeah.
Or he's like, "I don't care," and then Chet's like, "I know." It's like, he was just such a funny character. He's like a pageant queen, coach, and like he's actually a really funny narrator too. I think it would just be funny to see him come back. For me, he's like a character that I just enjoyed, and I don't know if he would come back, but I think it'd be funny.
I haven't had a single thought about Chet Welch since he was voted out, I don't think.
I love Micronesia so much.
I think objectively the best one. Oh, Chet. I pulled up the page for Chet.
Yeah, I think it's an unlikely pull, but it would be very entertaining. It'd be funny to get Chet on like a Blood versus Water season 2 with like some obscure relative. Like, I think that could be very funny. But...
This is my Aunt Patty.
Yep.
All right, there it is, Chet. Somehow I have 2 more. I think it's because we overlapped on one of mine.
Yeah, and Courtney.
Again, I'm going to play the hits here and do another person that I see as somebody who is just like a member of this era who like embodies Survivor in this era. And so would love to, I think you have to include a Stephen Fishback. I know we've been down this well before and it keeps getting drier and drier. But love the man. Who knows what he would do on a third time?
Yeah. I do love Steven.
I love him.
I worry that having him there with Rob would put a bigger target on Rob.
But could you imagine them playing Survivor together?
Yeah, that would be, I don't know. I feel like Rob would be like, I'm not with him. I'm not connected to him at all. Please don't let his dumb decisions reflect on me.
I think in reality, he would cut him immediately. Paranoid. Yeah.
But yeah, I think it would definitely be like TV gold, but I don't know. I don't know how it would go. But yeah, I'm all for that. I like Steven.
Yeah. Again, we're play the hits. My last one, this is a wild pick. I'm just gonna say it. How about Shambo?
Yeah, I did contemplate Shambo. Chet was like my Shambo.
Yeah, that's true. They're on the same plane.
But yeah, I don't know what Shambo's up to now. It'd be entertaining. She's probably like what in her early 40s maybe. I don't know.
Shambo is 55.
55. Okay.
55. Shambo was one of the bright spots of Survivor Samoa, if you ask me. She was fun. Yeah, a blatant disregard for, I think, the strategy game of Survivor, but that's what makes it fun to have some people like that in there, you know?
Yeah, it's fun to see people have to work around people who don't know what they're doing.
Exactly. And so
I think that's a fun pick.
Put Shambo on the tribe with Natalie Bolton and Courtney Yates and see what happens.
Yeah. I think they'll go crazy.
I think you're right.
He might do well with her though. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
And Rafe could probably like talk her down.
Who would Sari not do well with? She just seems so like kind.
I don't think there is anyone.
Yeah, who like doesn't like Sari?
Tenor with Shambo would be very entertaining though.
Gosh, that would be great. I would love to see that. All right, we're halfway through. If I had a sponsor, I would read that now, but I don't. So we're on to, depending on whether you're a cynic or not, you could call this the dark era of Survivor or the Renaissance era. Well, you know, we'll see how our tribes shake out and decide from there. This was, I don't know, can't remember if we talked about this on the call or if it was before, but this was a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of fruit here. And again, like a lot of the people from this era, because there were so many returning player seasons, like most of the people have been picked pretty clean, I feel like, such that their like story arcs are done and I don't really want to see them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Would you care to go first?
I can. So my first player comes from 24. I don't know.
Wow.
Do you have anyone from 21 to 23?
No, because my first one is 25.
Oh, okay. So we're both on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay, so I went back and forth, and we talked about this in our last draft. But I think so. This person played against potentially one of the best winners of all time, in Kim Spradlin. And I think it'd be interesting to see her play again against a different field.
Yeah.
But I would like to see Sabrina Thompson play again. So she was runner-up to Kim. And she played a fairly good game. I think it's hard because like she played against one of the best winners, so it's hard to know how good she was really. But I think it'd be interesting. And she comes from a season that doesn't get a lot of like praise.
Yeah.
So I went back and forth because I really like Chelsea as well, but I feel like Sabrina of the two of them was the more strategic.
Yeah.
And that's why Sabrina got votes, whereas Chelsea didn't get anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I had a feeling you would pick her after our conversation last time.
Yeah. Yeah. She's someone that like, I need to go back and rewatch One World, but I feel like I would still like her. But I remember watching it and really I liked all the women making it to the end.
Yep.
But I felt like Sabrina did a really good job against Kim. Kim just had a really strong handle of the game. So
yeah, you're not beating her at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another one that I haven't seen since the first time and don't remember much other than Kim's just like dominating. So
yeah,
worth another time.
And Tarzan.
Yeah, freaking Tarzan.
But I don't need to see them again.
My first pick is the most playing the hits of all my picks, probably. I'm picking Malcolm. Of course, one of the most iconic survivors, especially from this era. And I feel like he deserves one more try after he got royally hosed in Game Changers. And if that doesn't go great, then we can close the book on Malcolm and we can be done forever. But I think he needs one more try. Malcolm was like in this era of Survivor, Malcolm was like who I would say was my favorite player for the reasons that any teenage boy would like Malcolm, because he's cool and charming and I wanted to be like him.
Yeah, I had Malcolm on my list. I took him off. I put him on. I took him off. I eventually finally decided not to have him on my list just because we have seen him so much. But I love Malcolm too, and it's like him and Denise together is one of my favorite pairs of all time. So
I think it is my favorite pair of all time. I think I'll say it. Wow. Yeah, I think I'll say it. I love that season so much. It's like it
is good.
I think most people, we've talked about this before. Most people would have it as like a top 10 season, but I think it's like my actual favorite. I really love it.
Yeah. And it's definitely in my top 10, but it's not my favorite, but I love it.
And I think
I do like it.
Yeah. This is the case for like all things that people really love, but like, it's also the associations of like that, the thing with like the rest of what was going on in that time, and like, I feel like this was the first, like I watched Survivor, like, I, have vivid memories of like hiding in the other room during season 2 because I was scared of what was happening to Michael Skupin. But like, I feel like Philippines was the one where I was like, I got obsessed with Survivor, and I think that's part of why I think of it so highly.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, for me, it was kind of like a coming back to Survivor, where I got back to watching it like regularly on Wednesday nights during Philippines. So I had been kind of watching it and keeping up with it like periodically online. But then that was where like I would literally sit down every Wednesday and watch Philippines. And then I think it helped too that Malcolm got to come back really quickly after that. And it like really solidified him as like a household name. Yeah. Not that he wasn't already, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's hard not to pick Malcolm.
Who you got next?
So I have someone else from Philippines.
Okay.
So that was one of my also favorite seasons. Great cast. And the person I have is RC Saint Amour.
Yeah.
So she was supposed to be on Blood versus Water, but then like her dad, I think, was her partner, and he got pulled for medical reasons at the last minute. And so I think that she was a great player though in Philippines, and I would love to see her come back. I think she would be really like under the radar. I think a lot of the people from this era potentially would be. Yeah. Because, I mean, other than the people that they've already pulled, Malcolm probably not under the radar, but all the other people would be.
That's a great pick. Yeah. If RC was voted out one tribal council earlier, we definitely would have been talking about her in our pre-draft pod. But she just pre-merge pod. Barely made the merge. I enjoyed watching her too, and yeah, she's a really smart player. I co-sign everything you said. My next pick is from Survivor Kara Moen, an otherwise, not awesome season. But I would like to bring back one of the three amigos to join our friend Malcolm, and that is Eddie Fox.
I have the other one.
We're gonna bring all the three amigos back.
I almost had Eddie's on my like almost there list, but I picked Reynolds instead.
Let's do it. Let's bring all the three amigos back.
All three.
Yeah, I liked Eddie more than Reynolds because Eddie gave me like silly, not like mature and smart enough to realize that he's being a tool vibes, which is endearing. Whereas Reynolds gave me like calculated tool vibes.
Yeah. I think the older Reynolds might be better, but I just felt, to me, Reynolds has a little bit more strategic chops.
He definitely does.
Eddie for like comedic value is, I think, better.
Yeah, that's why I liked Eddie. He was funny.
I had him. I just went back and forth, and finally I went with Reynolds. But I could see reasons for all three amigos.
Yeah. Let's bring them all back. That'd be wonderful. That's the way we make this tribe interesting.
Yeah, I feel like that would put a huge target on them, though. That's the only thing.
For sure. But they have 3 out of the 5 votes in this tribe, so
yeah,
they're good for a little bit.
Yeah, and they probably have RC because Malcolm knows her.
True.
So
yeah.
Why don't you go again? Because I kind of already just said my next one.
Since we got Reynolds. I'm going to go to Cagayan next. Another one in the Outwatch rewatched Cavalcade.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to pull another person that is an unsung hero from this cast that has been picked clean. This person has not been invited to return, though, and that is Trish.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see Trish again. We talked about this a lot in our rewatch, but she is sometimes quietly, sometimes not so quietly, like the underwriting force of what gets like Tony the win. Mm-hmm. And that her people management and her damage control ability is really unmatched and makes people continue to like Tony such that he can get to a place to win. So yeah, she was a great player and brought a lot of heat. And so would love to have Trish back.
Yeah, I had Trish again in the same spot with Eddie and Malcolm. She was like almost on my list, but not quite.
Okay.
But I did seriously consider her, and I would love to see her back. But I just picked a few other people. But yeah, I like Trish a lot. That's a good pick. It'd be interesting to see her play without Tony.
Yeah, it would. And
I feel like her second time out will probably be better than Tony's second time out. So
hard to do much worse.
Yep.
All right, who do you have next?
Okay, so I'm going to go back a season. So Blood versus Water is one that I really like. It's had, like half the season was returning players as it was.
Right.
This person, when the season aired, though, I really was impressed by them. And then they played on other reality TV shows that they were very impressive on. And I'd be interested to see them again. I don't know in the real world how great of a person they are, but I think in Survivor they were good, and that's Hayden Moss.
Okay.
So he won Big Brother.
Yeah.
Was really good on it. And then I thought he did a really good job in Blood versus Water. The other person that I thought of, which come back, is Caleb, since Caleb passed away. But I loved watching him play as well, Colton's boyfriend.
Yeah.
But I liked Hayden. I think Hayden would do well on a second time out.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mostly remember Hayden through the lens of Kat's who wants to date somebody that doesn't make the merge line.
Which I actually almost picked Kat back for One World just for she also for comedic value. She's both of her seasons she was very entertaining, but she's one of the worst strategic players. So
for sure.
It's she's so delusional, and that's the thing. If you can make sure that Kat believes that she's the best, you'll be fine. You'll always have her in your pocket. But,
yeah. If you're also to rate people's performance at reunion shows, Kat's God tier for sure.
Oh yeah,
as a reunion show performer.
Yeah, she's great. She's definitely one of the funniest people, but terrible at Survivor.
Yeah, Hayden. Yeah, I think you're right that the other reality show success proves that. Yeah, he is a savvy guy.
He did pretty well on Blood versus Water, so
he did.
It'd be interesting to see him without the tie of Kat, and I don't know, that might have helped him. They're oh, his partner is Kat, she's not much of a threat. I don't know.
Yeah. What a man! He is so What year did this air? 2000
Blood versus Water.
Yeah, 2014.
13.
Yeah, he's very 2013 hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. The long hair, and he was big white teeth.
I don't remember. Big Brother was a few years before. It might have been a year before that.
Okay.
He was on Big Brother 12.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years before. I think that's the one he won.
It's 12. It says in his bio.
Yeah, that was 2010. So 3 years before. But yeah.
Cool. We're not bringing back Laura Laura Bonham.
Oh, no. She was great, though, on The Amazing Race recently.
Was she?
More Rupert, but the two of them together, yeah, they're great. It was, they don't make it far on The Amazing Race, but they are quality TV for the time that they're there.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna be straight up, and you're gonna hate my next pick, and I kind of hate it too, to be honest with you. From San Juan del Sur.
Okay.
Let's get Baylor Wilson back. Now let me explain. Let me explain. Was she good at Survivor? Not really. Was she that entertaining to watch? Not really. So you may ask, Alex, why are you bringing Baylor Wilson back? Her whole story was her and her mom, and like they were the like longest lasting pair on this season, you know, by a long shot. And Baylor is 20 at this point. I feel like a handful of years of experience of life out in the world. Imagine yourself when you were 20. I was an idiot. I wasn't good at things. And so why should we hold that against Baylor? I feel like she has the potential to have maybe the biggest jump of anybody we've said so far from first time to second time.
That's true.
I'm saying this to convince myself too.
I see your point. I just think there's also potential that she would not have a jump and that would be really boring. But,
you're right.
But it could be good. I'm glad you didn't pick Missy. I could say that.
Yeah.
I'll take Baylor over Missy any day. But
yeah, I like. I don't know. I had a hard time from this era, especially like I had a hard time with like women from this era too. I don't know what I think it's like the format of the show at this point, but like, there just like weren't a whole lot of like female players that stuck out to me that haven't again like we haven't seen return over and over again. Yeah. So that one's probably not going to make our final five.
Yeah, it's hard with San Juan del Sur. I went back, so I didn't pull anyone from San Juan del Sur.
Yeah,
it was hard because like Natalie's definitely my favorite, but she won
exactly.
And then Kelly Wentworth I loved, but she also like we've seen her now play out quite a bit. So I was like, I don't know that I need to see more of Kelly. So I mean, of the women that make it far, I would say Baylor's probably the best pick, but still not great. But
I understand.
Yeah.
Who you got next?
Okay, so this is my last person.
Okay.
And this will come as no surprise. From season 30, it's Mama C.
Yes.
So I can't not pick her. I think should be great on a second time around.
Yeah.
So. She's like definitely probably the oldest on this tribe.
For sure. But
it might help her out if she can make it to a swap, because then like the earlier season tribes are going to be older as well. So.
Yeah. I was picking back and forth between Mama C and Baylor. Yeah. And I don't know why I went with who I did, but.
I mean, I see your point. You make a good argument for Baylor. But
thank you.
I definitely would pick Mama C over her, but yeah.
Yeah,
they both would be good.
Mama C's a good pick. My final selection, he would fit right in on the tribe we constructed from the previous era, with the three amigos, and I'd like Rodney, please. Give me one Rodney Lavoie Jr.
This tribe.
I know. But I'm saying he would fit right in. Oh wait, you are right, man. It's been so long that I forgot.
He'll be on the tribe with the three amigos.
Make it the four amigos. Rodney is the perfect fourth amigo.
That's a good pick. I didn't even like consider Rodney, but I should have. That's a good pick.
Yeah, he it definitely like brings a whole lot of drama and entertainment to the show. Yeah, he would be really fun. I think I kind of hated Rodney the first time I watched this season, but also I just kind of hated this season. So yeah. This is definitely like
if not my least favorite, it's like top 2. I think 39's putting up a good fight, but
Yep.
But yeah, Rodney's a bright spot in a bad season.
Yeah.
So.
This season, fun fact, Alex Survivor fun fact. This is the only season of Survivor that I stopped watching.
Oh, wow.
Because I was like, you know what? And it's because it aired like, it was like my senior year of college or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like had other stuff going on too, but I would like be watching episodes and be like, I don't care about this. I don't care about these people. I'm not entertained. And I just stopped watching.
Yeah, I never got that feeling, but it is a terrible season. The ending, I mean, Mike winning out was just rough. And then the auction gets broken and it's not great. And all the Will and Dan drama.
Yeah. I think it was when like a few episodes into the merge. It was like when like Jen and Shireen and Tyler went out.
Yeah.
That I was like, at that point, I was like, I'm done. Nobody here left. Yeah.
This is it's a bad season, but that's why it would be nice to see some people like Rodney and Carolyn on another season to see, like, because I think they would still be good players.
Yeah.
And same with like people on 39, there are some people who would be great on the second season, but like they're always going to have this like stain on them. So
dude, yeah, that's what, like, obviously there's lots of tragedy regarding 39, but like this is, I think, one of the best casted seasons 39 was. And then just because of everything that happened, it's like, it's almost impossible to redeem, but there's like a ton of people from this season that I would like to see play again.
From 39?
Mm-hmm. Maybe not a ton, maybe 5.
There's some people I'd like to see, but there's a lot of people from other seasons I'd like to see too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of that, we're on to our final tribe. I'm calling this the Big Moves tribe. I think that's a fitting category. Good. This one was hard for me, but in a different way. And again, it's because these seasons are so like fresh that I like remember more of kind of like the more subtle players, and that I had a hard time choosing just 5.
Yeah, I agree.
Who's your leadoff contender here?
Okay, so my first person comes from Ko-Rong.
Same.
I didn't pick anyone from Second Chances. This was someone immediately when I watched it, I thought I really want to see them play again. The like Final 4, I liked all of them a lot.
Yes.
So I picked Sydney.
Yay, me too.
Gillen. Do you pick her?
I did.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm like really surprised that she hasn't come back, honestly.
Me too.
I think part of it is because of Michaela was like right after her.
Yeah.
And they kind of fill a similar role, but I think Sydney was the better player of the two of them.
For sure. Yeah.
And I definitely like that finale was so painful for me because it was like, oh, so Sydney's not going to win. And then I was like, oh, and then Aubrey's not going to win. Like, it like killed me because I thought for sure one of the two of them was going to win it.
Mm-hmm.
So, because they played such a great game.
Yeah.
And I would definitely love to see her back.
Yeah. Sydney is definitely one of those people that if you told me after this season aired, like that we're going to be on season 40 and she hasn't returned, I would have been stunned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sydney was a great player. She was the first pick here for me too. Like it's a shoe-in for me. Would absolutely love to see her again. And I'm super surprised that she hasn't.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm surprised too, because they let Caleb come back, but not Sydney. It's like, come on.
That's true. Also, please put some respect on Joe Del Campo's name.
Yeah.
When you say you liked the Final 4, come on.
He's in the Final 5, right?
Yeah, he is. You should have said, I really like the Final 5.
No,
he deserves your respect.
I like Joe Del Campo, but I don't know that strategically he's much of anything. But he's a very sweet man with cute dogs.
That's probably why Aubrey lost, right? Is that if he hadn't gotten,
definitely
meat constipation, that she was good.
Well, Aubrey had Neil and Joe get medevac, so that was bad.
Yeah. It's wild for me to just look at the cast photo of Aubrey from 31.
Oh, I haven't gone back to look at it. Does she look different?
Oh, for sure. Like, yeah, you remember like the early version of her story, and it's like, like that version of her that's like, holy cow. she's like a different person now.
Yeah. Well, she's been to the edge of extinction.
Yeah. that'll break you.
Yep.
Do you want to go ahead with your next one since we both had the same first one?
Sure. Okay, so this one's it's millennials. I have someone from Millennials versus Gen X. So this one was tough for me because to me that was one of the best seasons in recent memory.
Yeah, I agree.
I loved Millennials versus Gen X.
Same.
We have seen a lot of people come back. So I went with someone that we haven't seen come back on Survivor.
I think we're going to have the same pick again.
You think so?
Yeah.
So Brett LaBelle.
Oh, okay. Different. No. But that's great too.
Okay. I had 3 people that I went back and forth on from Millennials versus Gen X. I know. But I settled on Brett. So I went back and forth with Hannah, but then I thought, no. And then the other person was Jay.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Brett's great. Yeah. I think you can pick, a handful of people from this season that haven't returned. That would be great to return. But yeah, Brett's up there for me too.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was Jay.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I had Jay, but because of a later pick, I took him off because he's very similar to someone else, which you can probably guess. But
yeah. I think we have the same next
Brett
person
would add
too.
A little bit of diversity, age-wise and LGBTQ-wise.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's a good choice. Yeah, I loved both of these. I loved this whole cast really. But I just found Jay to be such a compelling character. And he was one of the first. Well, there's probably other people that I'm forgetting, but when you're given the archetype of Jay, you think surfer dude, bro, airhead kind of guy, but he was so sharp strategically and so cutthroat, but also was a really empathetic person too. And I think one of the emotional through lines of this season is his relationship with Adam, which is again so complex and interesting. Yeah. And yeah, when I think about this season, I think one of the first things I think about is Jay because of that. So. Yeah.
And I agree. My worry with him is that we've maybe seen, and I have the same worry for Adam in season 40.
Yeah.
Is that they had such a big arc in Millennials versus Gen X that I don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
In a future season. But I mean, I would definitely love to see Jay, and I loved him on the season. So I think with Brett, we saw a little less of him strategically, especially, and it could be because there isn't anything there strategically.
Yeah.
But he's very entertaining.
He is very entertaining. Yeah, this is the next season that we're going to recap on Outwatch, and so I'm so excited to get to it and watch it again.
Yeah, that'll be good. I thought about rewatching it because it's kind of recent, but it also has been a while, so
yeah,
I'd like to see it again.
Yeah, this is a great one.
Cool.
I think we probably have the same next person based on our lead-in, huh?
On what I said earlier?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah. I had Devin Pinto.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, I love Devin Pinto.
Yeah, he's right up there on my overall list of people that I would like to see play again.
Yep.
Yeah, on a season that was not great, but not terrible. Yeah, he was my favorite person to watch.
Yeah.
And yeah,
for me, he was of this era, he was one of the quickest ones I came up with in my head.
For sure.
And so that's why to me, him and Jay are really similar, but I feel like Devin potentially has a little bit more left unsaid.
I think you're right. Yep. Yeah. And Jay's arc is pretty reliant on, the story with Adam too. Where, Devin doesn't have that person necessarily.
Yeah.
I wonder how he would do on a returning season, because so much of what he did so well was that he played up his goofy, laid back surfer bro persona. And underneath it, he's a really smart guy, a huge gamer, somebody who's definitely thinking strategically. I wonder now that his cover is blown, how that would affect him on a second time out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think though he would be a low, an under the radar person still.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not for the same reasons, but just because his season is not really that highly thought of.
True, yeah.
And his winner's not that highly thought of.
Mm-hmm.
That and you have the four amigos on the other tribe, so
right.
potentially he'd have some comrades out there.
True.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And if Jay's out there, there's a lot of people who kind of have a similar MO.
Yeah. No votes for.
I think he'd be good.
No votes for a JP Hilsebeck return from this season.
No,
we're good.
Nope.
I think there's maybe a high chance that we have the same next person too.
I don't know.
Okay, go ahead and share yours then.
Okay, so it's not. I don't have anyone else from 35.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay. Well, because I had Chrissy where I was thinking about putting her up there, but I just would much rather see Devin. I think.
I do too, and we talked about Chrissy a lot in our runners-up pod. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So my next person comes from 37.
Yep.
Right? David versus Goliath.
Yep.
And it's Christian Hubicki.
We have the same person again.
Okay.
I figured.
Yeah, he's like one of my all-time favorites, I think.
Instant icon. Christian. Yeah.
Yeah, he's so good. Like, and for me, it was really cool because he's like one of the first true scientists to be on Survivor.
Mm-hmm.
So he is an engineer, which is kind of a different realm, but it was really fun to see like someone who's actually active in the academic community on Survivor.
Yeah.
Because to me, they're like two different worlds. And so it's really fun. And he was just so entertaining. And that cast to me is one of the best casts, the David versus Goliath cast.
Yep. What, like, interestingly enough, now, like, looking at it, because I've got the page pulled up, I agree that it was an incredible cast. It's a top tier season. But there's maybe 4 people that I have any interest in seeing return.
Oh, really?
Which is like, I think a testament to how they like did a good job with like the stories of the people in their own season,
Yeah, I had 2 other people as potential people, but Christian's the only one I picked from David versus Goliath. So
yeah. Again, in the like play the hits vein and like the players who stand in as a representative of this era, I don't think you can do better than Christian.
Yeah.
He's like maybe the most recognizable new player from this era.
Yeah.
I
think so too. I think he'll have the like worry, like the Cochran persona though on a second time around. Like definitely. People will be afraid of him because of how smart he is, but he's also really likable.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see him with Devin Pinto.
Oh,
and
that
like
would be great.
because he did so well with John Morrison. Like he could be really great with all the bros.
Man, a Christian Hubicki Devin Pinto alliance. I live for that.
Yeah,
that'd be wonderful.
That'd be great.
I'd also love to see Gabby return from this season. She's not my pick, but like she's right up there. Same thing with Davey. Those 3 are the 3 on the top of my list.
I had Davey and Angelina.
Yeah, Angelina too.
Gabby, I'm less interested in. I mean, I would watch her, but I don't know. I don't know what she would be like on a second time around.
Yeah, I always like. This is another like example of bias, but whoever I like choose at the beginning of the season as my winner pick, I have an extra love for it, and I picked Gabby. So.
Oh, that's who you picked?
She was my rooting interest.
I don't remember who I picked on that season. I may not have made a winner pick. I can't think of who I did. I don't always pick a winner.
Yeah. I
don't think I did.
We got one more slot here. What season is yours from?
38.
Okay, mine too.
There's a man or a woman?
Mine's a woman.
Mine too.
Is it Victoria?
It is.
All right, man. We are on the same page for this last era.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Victoria was like one of the biggest surprises for me, like in a positive way from this season. I think she should have won this season, truthfully.
Mm-hmm.
She's a great combination of like, again, the like, don't trust me, I'll cut your throat, like savagery. But also like, she was great on Confessional. She was really entertaining to watch. And I think there's a lot like more out there for her in the world of Survivor. Like, I think she was well liked and could like really perform really well on another time out. So I'd love to see her again.
I think she's underrated. Like people maybe wouldn't know her well enough or know her game well enough. because I mean, they didn't really show her game that much.
Mm-hmm.
She would definitely be good. I think she'd do well with the other people from this era too.
I think maybe if she didn't wear the beanie, people would have no idea who she is. That could be a strat.
It's very possible.
We had no Rick Devens.
I know. I did contemplate it, but then I was like, no, I just can't do it.
Yeah. Another example of like a full story the first time.
Yeah, we got so much of him.
Need a little Devens break.
Yeah.
Yeah, Victoria's a shoo-in for me too. Man, we had 4 out of the 5 the same from this era. We just have to choose between Brett and Jay.
The era before we didn't have anyone.
I know.
Although we were close with all the 3 amigos, but
yeah,
that's pretty funny.
All right, so now the next order of business is choosing our final tribes for this season. We're going to take our choices and put together the best season possible based on our options. I'd say we should start here at the Big Moves era since we just talked about it and most of the work is already done.
Yeah, true.
So, who do we want? Do we want Jay or Brett as our Millennials versus Gen X representative?
It's a tough call. I feel like because we have so many bros already, though, I would make the case for Brett.
I hear you and I follow you. I think that that's a good choice. Looking at the demographics of not only this tribe, but the season potentially at large.
Yeah.
Brett's the option, I think.
Cool.
So that means our Big Moves era tribe is Sydney from Co Wrong, Devin from Heroes, Healers, Hustlers. Who greenlit that title?
I know.
Gosh.
Well, and Millennials versus Gen X is a mouthful too.
It is.
You know?
Brett from Millennials vs. Gen X, Christian from David vs. Goliath, and Victoria from EOE. That's a good tribe.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be really, I don't know how that would go.
Yeah, I wonder how they would meld.
I don't know. I feel like Victoria and Christian would either like go at each other or they would be like a power duo.
Oh, I see minute 1, Victoria being like, dude, we got to get rid of Christian.
Yeah.
Waste no time.
I feel like she's cutthroat enough that she would do it.
But then the power alliance of Devin, Christian, and Brett LaBelle subvert it.
That's like the new 3 amigos.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
That'd be wonderful. Let's keep working our way backwards then into seasons 21 through 30.
Yeah, this one's tricky.
This one is tricky. We've got all 3 amigos up for grabs. We've got the 4th amigo and Rodney. And then we've also got the potential of Trish, of Baylor, of Sabrina, RC, Hayden, and Mama C.
Yeah, these are tricky.
So who's like our first, like, definitely got to include this person?
Well, I think, so like for me, I had, of your picks, I also had Malcolm, Trish, and Eddie. So I would lean towards Malcolm or Trish.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Trish. I don't know. Or Malcolm. I mean, both of those were 2 people I strongly considered for my list.
I think Malcolm is a good person to put in this season. Again, as the representative of this era.
Yeah.
I think that's
I'm cool with that.
That's a strong choice.
Yeah, because I mean, I put him up there and then I took him down and then I put him back up. So I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, I really like your Mama C pick too.
Cool.
I'm happy to send her along.
Yeah, I stand Mama C. What's
the thing that like Rob makes fun of? Is like send it to Fiji or something. What is it?
Send it to Samoa.
Send it to Samoa.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Send Mama C to Samoa.
Because that's where they filmed for a long time. I guess now he needs to change it to Fiji.
Yeah, send it to Fiji. All right. Malcolm and Mama C, what a power duo. Do we want to pick?
It could be the new Malcolm and Denise. You never know.
Oh, there is upside there.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to pick from one of the other amigos, or do we want to leave the amigos on the wayside?
Yeah, I think that's the trick. Is if we,
it is, isn't it?
It'd be weird to have 2 of the 3 amigos. It'd also be weird to have 3 of the 3 amigos.
Yeah,
so
there's no world in which that is allowed, where we put Malcolm, Eddie, and Reynold on a tribe together again.
I feel like it'd almost be like we could make a new 3 amigos with Rodney and Hayden and Malcolm.
Yes, there it is. 3 amigos 2.0.
Yeah. And then we've also got the other 3 amigos on the other tribe now.
That's going to be the new theme for this season. Survivor. 3 amigos. They've honestly done worse.
Yep, they have. Okay, so we just need one more, and it should probably be a woman.
I'm here for RC. I think that's a really good pick.
That's what I'm between her or Trish. Those would be my top 2, I think.
Mama C and Trish kind of filled a similar role.
True. That's a good point. Yeah, and Malcolm and RC have history, so it'd be entertaining to see.
Yeah.
Okay, man. I'm good with that.
Perhaps fittingly, this season has 2 people from Philippines and 2 people from Worlds Apart.
Oh, true.
Yeah, not that
the one of the best and one of the worst.
Yeah. Feast or famine era. So we're back to the post-classic or the golden era. We're choosing between Penner, Courtney Yates, Eric, Stephen Fishback, Shambo, Rafe, Sari, Courtney, Natalie, and Chet.
So Courtney, we both had. So I say she's a go.
Send it to Fiji.
We send her to Fiji.
Now things get tricky.
Yeah, I know. That's what. Well, so because I like all. I'm trying to think of what the best tribe would be. I like Penner, Eric, and Steven, and Shambo.
I think of this is like my most hazy picking the people I remember era, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think of those people I think Penner is probably the richest vein potentially.
I don't know. Steven's pretty entertaining too, but yeah, I mean, I love Penner. I'm good with that.
Let's send Penner to Fiji. I liked your Natalie pick too.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. I think I'd rather see Natalie and Courtney interact. I think that'd be pretty funny.
That would be fun.
The 2 of them together, quipping off of each other would be great.
Yeah.
So, we've never seen her before.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Good point. Yeah. Let's send Natalie along. We got 2 spots left.
Yeah.
We've got.
Let's see. So on the first tribe, we have 2 women, 3 men. 2 women, 3 men. So I think this one we need 3 women.
Yep.
Which means either Shambo or Sari. I'm cool with either of those. I think we can do Shambo. Shambo with Penner.
You want Shambo back in?
That's a great combo. Yeah, I think that'll be good.
We'll send Shambo.
And then we've got to narrow it for one of the guys.
We've got Rafe. We've got Fishback.
Chet.
We've got Chet.
Yeah, I think we can rule Chet out. So I think it's Rafe, Eric, or Steven. I would say not Steven. But
yeah, I think I agree. I think Rafe is interesting, just for the same reason of with Shambo, where there's we haven't seen him play again.
Yeah,
and
I think it also helps because he keeps people from different tribes.
Yeah,
or different seasons. Sorry. Although Eric and Steven haven't been on one with them either, so although Steven and Courtney, that is enticing.
That is enticing
to see them together, but I think Rafe is good too.
Yeah, she would be this iteration's Abby Maria for Steven.
Yeah. Well, they're exes, you know.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, Steven and Courtney dated for a really long time.
No way.
It'd be much more different than Abby Maria. Yeah.
Wait, are you kidding me?
Yeah. But before he got married, but yeah, they used to date. I think close to the heroes versus villains time, early 20s.
Oh my god! Whoa!
The dark era of Survivor, as you would call it.
I just Googled it. That is wild.
Yeah, it's an interesting pairing.
Definitely. I can.
Maybe we should.
Wow.
Do that.
That just shattered my entire universe.
Yeah, it's weird. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm okay with any of them. It's hard. Like Eric is also interesting. Like,
sorry, I'm still spiraling from this news. Holy cow! Let's. Who did we just pick? Let's send Rafe. We're sending Rafe. Okay. I don't want to do that to Steven. He's a married man. He doesn't need to be on a reality show with his ex-girlfriend. I care more about him as a person.
Well, but Eric, if we did Eric, though, we also get the Eric Natalie drama. But
that is true. I care too much about Eric to do that to Eric too.
What?
I don't want to do that to Eric.
True. Yeah, it'll just be clip after clip of him giving away immunity.
Yeah. Okay, back to the Classics tribe.
All right.
We've got to send Rob Sesternino through. That was a co-pick.
And T-Bird.
Yeah.
So the only other one I'm going to stake my flag on is Ian.
We can do Ian.
Okay. I just think he'll be great. But I'm open to Dina and Eliza or Rhino. All three of those are great picks.
So to even things out at 10 men and 10 women, we need to do 3 women here. Yeah.
To do Eliza and Dina.
Yeah, I love... Dina's like...
your number one.
Definite for me, I think.
Yeah. I like that pick. It'd be fun to see her and Rob together, too.
Do we want Eliza or Julie Berry?
It's a tough call. I don't know. I think Eliza with T-Bird and Dina would be an interesting 3.
Okay.
So
that would be an interesting 3. That's a good point.
Also, Julie's a little more amicable, whereas Eliza's gonna cause some drama.
And there's no scenario in which Julie Berry is on Survivor.
Yeah, I don't think so, but it'd be cool if she was.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But I didn't think there was any scenario where Parvati would come back because of her production connections.
True.
And she's back, so.
Yeah, that's a good point. So that does it. Here's our season. Let's run this back top to bottom. So our Classics era season or tribe, we've got Rob Sesternino, T-Bird, Ian from Palau, Queena is what we started calling Dina, and Eliza. Our Golden Era tribe, we've got Penner, Courtney Yates, Natalie Bolton, Shambo, and Rafe. Our Dark Era, we need a better name for that. 21 through 30, we've got Malcolm, RC, Hayden, Rodney, and Mama C. That's such a fun group.
Yeah, that's a strong tribe physically, too.
It is.
The other tribe, the last tribe is so bad. Ruth, Natalie, Courtney, Jonathan, Penner, and Sham.
They're going to struggle. They're definitely going to struggle.
Oh, it's tough.
And then our last tribe is Sydney, Devin Pinto, Christian Hubicki, Victoria, and Brett LaBelle.
I like it.
This would be a fun season, I think.
Yeah, I do too.
I would love to see, these players come back.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, especially because you have so many people who've played, like Penner is on the older season or older era, but he's played with Malcolm.
Yeah.
And RC, although technically I don't know that they ever played.
Yeah.
Any of them played with him, but they were on the same season. So, but yeah, I think it'd be really interesting.
And you know that like the story from like a thematic perspective is going to be this like old school versus new school sort of thing, of like how do you play Survivor as somebody who hasn't, who got their start in the classic era in now the world that it is,
Yeah.
Looking at this group here, do you have any predictions for how this might go? I think our first note that second tribe is really going to struggle and the challenges is probably pretty true.
Yeah.
That's going to be a rough go for them.
Yeah, I'd like to think, I think Shambo would probably be the first boot of that tribe.
Yeah. Yeah, probably.
Or Penner. It's hard to say because Shambo would be physically probably the weakest. But Penner may have the biggest target. Like, I think Courtney has a target, but she's so physically small that I think that would they would keep her. I don't know.
Yeah.
I could see her, Natalie, and Rafe working together. I could also see Penner working with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it would be.
I don't know.
I agree. I think it would be Shambo first, and then it would probably either be Penner or Courtney, depending on who gets like the upper hand. In this, this format, of course, like we're swapping after like 2 or 3 tribal councils.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because what is this, 20? So they could swap after 2 and go to 3 tribes.
Who do you think wins this season?
Or 2. That's what I was trying to think through. Do you have a pick off the top of your head?
I do think it would be tough for anybody from these first 2 tribes. Because I think, they're going to struggle to like connect with the newer players, maybe like socially, but definitely on like a strategic level. I think that they're going to be playing 2 different games. Or, these people from these last couple eras are used to playing in the world of advantages and idols and edges of extinction, whereas everybody from the first couple are going to be way less prepared for that level of game. But like I say that, and these are like all smart people who like know Survivor for the most part, so maybe they will adapt.
Yeah, well, I think the people on the earliest tribe, Ian and Dina, I don't really know how familiar they are with the game still, but like Rob, T-Bird, and Eliza,
for sure,
they'll all be like fully immersed in advantages and the new Survivor.
Yeah,
that middle or the second tribe, I think, is actually going to be physically and strategically, they would have the toughest time.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's hard to say. I was thinking, like, I think Victoria has a really good shot just because of how like little people know about her game.
Yeah.
That
was my gut pick too.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of, and I mean, Mama C or Dina, both of them, I feel like they could too, because they're like kind of get along with anybody.
Yeah.
Regardless of age and like, I don't know. I think either of those would be good too.
Yeah, if Dina could adapt like to the pace of this game of Survivor, I really like that too.
Well, that's the thing, because potentially like Dina and Rob would be paired up in a sense. I mean, he'll also have T-Bird, but like Rob would definitely be the bigger target. Yeah, he could potentially help her along.
Rob voted Dina out once.
Yeah. But I think at this point, I mean, it's
20
like,
years ago.
What, 15 years, of history there now. So yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Like, I would love to say that Christian could win, but I think he may come in with one of the bigger targets.
I think so too. Yeah.
Him and Malcolm.
Yeah.
And Rob. Yeah. Those 3, I think, would have the biggest targets.
Yeah. I really am intrigued at like seeing Malcolm one more time. Because like I remember the discourse going into his third time out was like a lot of people picking Malcolm to win. And
no, I think I picked him that season too.
Yeah, and so like I wonder like what's changed. He got hosed.
Well, it could be that helped him. Like him not doing so well in one season, in his most recent season, maybe people might not remember as much from his earlier seasons.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know
that it could ever like wash away his reputation, but
yeah, he is a giant.
Yeah. But so Ian's nearly 7 feet tall. Devin's really big. And you've got like these other guys are physically going to like look way better and like they're going to be better skilled than Malcolm. So they might be able to take that target off of him. Cause I feel like his challenge prowess is a big part of what makes him such a like threat. I don't know.
Yeah, Philippines.
Like he's able to deliver. Other than that one, like holding the pieces between the 2 handles.
Right.
He can do most any challenge.
Just don't give him a buoy.
Yeah.
Or a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Philippines Malcolm was a challenge beast, but this version. But he
was also
Malcolm.
Against people that. I mean, he was against like Lisa Welchel and Scoop it. Like people that aren't
Russell
really
Swan. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like the other guys would take that target off of him. Like I feel like Devin physically will probably have the bigger target.
Even someone like Hayden.
He did in challenges.
Yeah. Devin, I think he won a few, right?
Yeah, I really don't remember. I know Chrissy won a ton.
Right.
The great Chrissy won like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So I don't know that Devin won much, but he definitely like physically looks like a threat.
I'm gonna check the tape here real fast. Come on, Survivor.
But that's where like for Brett and Shambo and Dina, I feel like the three of them, their biggest risk is the pre-merge. Just getting past the team challenges.
Yeah, for sure. Devin won a total of 7 challenges, but that includes pre-merge.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to read this entire wall of text to find this.
Well, and he definitely helped his tribe, right? It was the Hustlers. So him and Patrick
Bolton. What a guy.
We're like the 2 muscle guys. And then Ryan.
Poor Ryan.
Yeah.
And Lauren Rimmer. Can't forget Lauren Rimmer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's great.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like her and Elaine kind of cancel each other out.
I know they do. Yeah. Yeah, in the same way that Michaela did with Sydney.
Yeah.
Similar archetypes. Well, this is fun. I would definitely watch this season, and I would love it if they did it.
Definitely.
I like what we ended up with.
Mainly just to see Rob Cesternino.
I know. Do you think it'll ever happen?
I don't know. I feel like, if anything, he's definitely moving closer to doing it. But I just don't know. It just depends on what direction Survivor heads after this winter season.
Yeah.
I mean, some people thought it might be like Legends, and then he would have been a part of that. But I don't know.
If you force me to say right now, does he ever play again? I say no. But I
hope he does.
I know.
One thing though, I would love to see him and Nicole, his wife, on like Amazing Race or Blood versus Water. Like, she would be great TV too. Then the 2 of them together, I think, would be excellent. So, and they got asked back when the first Blood versus Water happened, but she was pregnant. So
that would be fun. Yeah,
that's like, I actually really liked the first Blood versus Water. I like it when it's like people we know from previous seasons better than like all new people. But
yeah,
I don't know.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll come back. I think a lot of these people, though, definitely like our most recent era, other than maybe Sydney, I think there's a high likelihood we'll see the other 4 back. I'd like to think we'll see Mama C again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
T-Bird. It'd be nice to see her again.
Yeah, I think she has a chance since she was up for the second chance.
Yeah, I hope so. I was really shocked that she didn't get that one.
Yeah, people just don't remember the old stuff.
Yeah,
any last notes before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I think it'd be a good, compelling season, though.
Yeah, I would love to see it. Well, thank you for joining me on this draft special. Your expertise, as always, and your witty humor is valued.
It's always a pleasure to get to talk about Survivor.
Always.
Usually talking to myself, so.
That's why I started this podcast.
Yeah.
Rope other people into liking this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, make sure that you subscribe to our feed wherever you are digesting your podcast, and make sure to follow us on Twitter at Outwatch Podcast. And you can drop us your picks for who you would love to see in a season like this as well. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.